Hello guys, welcome to today's video. Today we'll be showing how to do a 3D cutscene in GDevelop. So first we're going to start using the 3D template because we don't really need much for a 3D scene right now other just than a 3D scene. So we're going to start and use the first person template. It's really nice because it uses mobile controls, which is pretty accessible. I'm on vacation right now, so I don't have access to my PC. That's why I'm filming on my phone. This tutorial is broken up into 3 parts. The first part is how to trigger the cutscene. Second part is how to switch the camera. The third part is how to switch the camera back to the original perspective. We'll be using these 3 techniques to make the cutscene to be able to look at the object or position and then look back. First, we can start by installing the 3D third-person perspective extension. After the extension is installed into the project, you want to go back into the actual project. Now we're going to set up the scene using some of the events. We're going to make a new label to label it. For now, we're going to call it just cutscene 1. So once we write that out, we're going to go and add some more events. We're setting up the scene. So we'll go ahead and use an at the beginning scene trigger. Implement that in. Let's get it to hide and show some of the objects. So for now we're going to hide the cutscene object that will be representing where to put the cutscene. Of course, this can also be changed to do a position as well instead of an actual object. Next, we're going to make a 3D box to represent the border of the first step, which is collision, that will trigger the event to happen. So we're going to just go ahead and we're going to paint the sprite for the collision box. Now we're going to go ahead and put the collision box into where you want the cutscene to start or where you want it to be triggered. You can use your own events to trigger these. Next, we're going to start a new event. Make sure to hide that collision box so it's not represented there. Make sure that your thing is on the base layer so you don't get it confused. If it's not on the base layer, that will mix it up and the collision won't work properly. Now to add the event that actually triggers it, we're going to use a collision trigger. And we're going to fill it out with the align stuff so it comes to the camera or player, it will trigger it. That will start the trigger for the cutscene when it hits. And now we have the first part complete, is triggering it. Next, what we're going to do is use the 3D person camera to look at the object from a distance, or you can do the position as well if it fits your needs. But for now, we're just going to use the object to represent what we're looking at, which is useful for most cases. You're going to want to fill the sheet out with everything that applies. How far you want it away, we're just going to do 200 for now. Next, we're going to add the elevation of it. We don't want it rotated, so we'll just leave that blank. Make sure it's on the base layer as well. Once we fill that, make sure the rotation angle is 0 since we don't want it changed. And we'll save that. Okay, now we're going to want to trigger that it shows the barriers. Next, we're going to make an event to show the actual thing we want the cutscene to happen on for it so that it's actually visible when the cutscene starts. Of course, you can also edit this to fit your needs as well. Next, we're going to preview it, just make sure it works. As you can see, we can see the box in the cutscene in different camera perspective. We're going to change the text, add a text to make it look like it's more actually there, not just the character moved. So we'll just name this find box for now, and we'll apply it. Make sure to align the text where you want it, and make sure it's on the UI layer or whatever layer that's not on the base layer, because you want it to be on a separate layer so that it doesn't show. If it shows in the 3D scene, it won't be there at all. Next, you just want to show everything that you hid in the beginning, so it actually appears during the cutscene. Only applies to the objects that you hid originally. Remember that. Make sure to hide the layer during the actual cutscene of the UI so your buttons won't show up while you're doing it, and it also can't mess with the collision while it's happening. Now we're going to want to make a new command for waiting a certain amount of seconds before commencing the next action. We are going to hide everything we hid at the beginning of the scene before it was shown, and we're going to show the layer as well. So that includes the text and the object and all of that, so that it can return to its original state. And the end result should look something like this. You have the walking, and when it gets to the collision, it has the animation with the thing. And now you see the box is now there when it wasn't before.